They pop crowd. They popcorn. They pop culture. It's the lowdown.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the latest installment of the Lowdown Popcast, where we pop crowds, popcorn, and pop culture. I am the voice of PCW, the voice of Demons Football, and 1/3 ownership of PCW, Elliot Popston. And to my right, he is the founder and second third of ownership of the hottest wrestling promotion in the Mid-Atlantic in PCW. He's the owner and agent of Flower Float Travel, where you can book your dream getaway at flowerfloattravel.com. Curator of Spirits of Chain, can sell ice to an Eskimo. New York's greatest export, Shane Dorr.
Hey, man.
Welcome back.
Hey, glad to be back.
And to our left is seven-time fantasy football champion, podcast enthusiast, soon to be Kevin Nash's favorite podcaster, just like his favorite wrestler. He's been known to outwork everyone with his self-proclaimed hottest Funko Pop collection. Not your average wrestling mark, and third of ownership of PCW. Ain't he great?
It's showtime, folks.
Handbook, Jonathan Winburn.
Still long. We got to shorten that.
Ain't he great?
Ain't he great?
That's a good touch.
Ain't he great?
What's up, man?
Hey, man. Dude, I'm tired.
Me too.
We had a long weekend, but man, it was a long weekend.
Ugh.
I'm so tired. Oh, man. But we're back. And yesterday, Shane and I were talking. It's like, holy crap, show's tomorrow.
Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah. Ta-da.
Next thing you know, it'll be like a PCW show happening.
Same day every week.
Yeah.
I don't know how it sneaks up on us.
No, it's life. Life happens. But yep. Welcome to the show, Keith. Glad you could join us, man. And Billy says, welcome back, Shane Dorr.
Thank you, sir.
I agree. You. Welcome back, Shane.
Thank you. Thank you.
Glad you're back, man. And
I'm back.
I'm better than ever. I mean, are you? You seem tired,
Bro, we just got through this part. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I don't know what it is. Back to work today. Haven't been to work in like 2 weeks.
Flooded.
Slammed.
I need help.
Help.
Was it busy today?
No, but yeah, kind of. No, it kind of was.
There was a lot of things that needed to be caught up on.
Yeah, I called Dick Museums today. I video chatted him.
Oh,
Yeah. He's like, what do you want? He's like, did you hear I lost my cat? I said,
no.
I did, Richard. Jake, yeah, I heard all about it. He's like, how'd you hear? You posted it on Facebook. You know, he's like, I hope that little bastard comes back to me. You know?
I overheard part of the conversation. It was like that, and then like out of nowhere, it was like, I heard what Shane go, let me guess, you're busy. And then that was the end of the phone call.
He hung up on me. Gotta go.
Oh,
God bless him.
Oh, Richard. Hey, Cheryl. But
Dang it, Cheryl.
dang it, Cheryl. That's right.
We caught a LFB today too.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Hey, he won. He just won an award.
He's a little prick. He goes,
LFP.
he looks at me through FaceTime. He's like, you gotten bigger. I said, listen here, you little prick. I was like, all right. Just because you got your hair cut.
He did. He did win an award. I would have won it too if I was still there.
This is probably true.
He said it too.
You'd probably be in Hawaii.
Let's not go there.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay. Well,
Going back.
awkward.
he said going back.
Going back. He says that, but I don't think he could. I don't think he could now and be happy about it. I don't think he could. I think he's kind of
Calling his bluff.
Huh?
Calling his bluff.
no.
I was gonna say, yeah, that would not be a smart move.
All it would take for him to go back and miss one PCW show. I'd be like, F this. He'd be so pissed.
I'd have that in my contract when I go back.
Yeah, contract.
Contract doesn't
Like
work
you
in
Mike
retail.
Sievert. Oh, I mean, CEO, president. Anyway,
Oh man,
it is good. It is good seeing you, Billy and Cheryl. Thank you for everything. Appreciate you.
well, we had a
Yeah, that's about
rather
the most
eventful
of it.
weekend.
That
in
sums up the
wrestling.
most of it. Oh man, yeah.
More important than this weekend of wrestling.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
Do you?
Yeah, last night.
It was last night.
Yeah, I know. I was paying
God,
attention.
I was panicking at first, the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then I was
A 20-point win. I'm
they
not
coached-
panicking
they
no
coached.
more.
I'm good for another 2 days.
You got money in it?
Nope.
No, you got no money? You got money in it?
I usually don't bet on. Well,
I was like, where are you going
well,
with
no,
that?
I was gonna say I usually don't bet on my team. Like if I play fantasy football, I usually try not to draft Titans players or like anything like that because I don't want to be emotionally involved in the decision. But I do bet on Carolina usually.
You
But
definitely thought that Miami had a chance of becoming the 140, the one and
God.
149.
they shouldn't have been in the situation they were in, but it all works out.
So what was your reaction after that, like that tip in play, game 6?
Well, first of all, I was pissed the whole game because it was like
This is
they were up 3-0 and then Boston came back and won 2, and I was like, all you gotta do is win 1. Like there's 4 games, and then they come back. I was so hyped because Jimmy got fouled with like 3 seconds left at 3-point line. They were down by 2. He made all 3 free throws, went up by 1, and I was like, oh,
Over.
it's not over.
The
crowd thought it was over, but I was like, it's not over. But like, I mean, Boston don't have much of a chance, and then
the one in a
missed
million.
a shot, and
Point
it just
one.
happened to bounce in the one place there was somebody waiting, and the guy got it off with like 0.1 seconds, and I was like, you have got there. End up messing around and lose this thing, like this whole series after they've done everything.
I just wish I was in the same room with you at that moment.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
Ben,
My wife was not.
Which
She
would
was
have
like check? She was like, I can't be around you when you're like this.
which would have
Was
had
it that bad?
which would have had the worst reaction? Miami losing or Jeff Jarrett winning the tag team championships the other night?
Miami losing.
Yeah.
That
I mean, I don't like. So I don't like Jarrett, but like I would have been like I would
real life.
I would have
or
been
scripted life.
I would have been annoyed, but like I really would have been pissed if Miami would have lost.
Oh, what if Miami lost and Jeff won the tag team? That would have been the perfect weekend.
Lose.
Oh God.
But they won. That's all that matters. They played Denver starting Thursday, so yeah, I got till Thursday to get my nerves in order.
Oh.
Jokic, one of the top centers of all time, yes or no?
It's kind of early.
I
Yet.
would say all time. Just yet.
It's kind of early.
It's not
Yeah.
early at all.
Yeah, it's very early.
He's got the all-time triple doubles in playoffs,
That's
most ever
That's fine. But you
in
know,
a single playoff.
come on. A little early.
Oh, okay. Name the centers.
Shaq.
I didn't say the top. I said one of the tops.
Shaq. Hakeem Olajuwon. I would go Yao Ming.
Kareem.
I'd go.
Yeah, I don't know about Yao.
What?
No.
Thank
He didn't
you.
do- he didn't-
Are
he didn't
you? You don't know anything about basketball.
He didn't
You're
do
off.
enough.
Written off.
Now, granted, I know he got injured, but
What? Oh my God, dude! The dude averaged 20-something points a game for like 10 years straight. Come on, look, I'm close. I'm close. Yao Ming, are you kidding me? I would say Hakeem Olajuwon. I would say, who am I missing? Winburn. Keep throwing some names.
definitely didn't average 20-something points.
Close. 4. He's still one of the best of all time.
Didn't even play 10 years.
It doesn't matter. The guy, he's old. He's also almost 8 feet tall, 7-something.
Hold on. No, you don't say, oh, yeah, he was one of the best of all time.
He is one of the greatest of all time.
But he was 7'6", 7'5".
That's also why his career
old,
didn't last
and
that
he was
long.
also old. Oh, well, he
Keep going. And you got a
He
list.
was how tall?
7'5".
7'6".
Can't teach that.
Stop.
And
Seriously, serious conversation here. So, all
Cass.
right. Find a modern.
he was 7'6" tall.
a modern list of greatest centers of all time. That would include the Joker. So a modern list, 2023. Billy's probably going off there over there in the chat. He's probably like, you guys are forgetting a bunch of people. There we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Bill Walton, Bill Russell.
That's 2016.
That's not even fair. Joker wasn't even in the league.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a chance here to make it a modern day list.
You said Joker wasn't in the league when?
Joker hasn't been in the league that long.
Since when?
I said,
Well, what year did you say?
That was 2016. I said that would. said that wouldn't been fair.
I would say he's been in the league since 2017. He's getting close.
12.
All rookie team 2016.
All right, so I said 2017.
He came off the bench.
Top 20. He's in.
Now he's top 20.
2015, 2016.
I just said one of the top centers.
I thought you said top 10.
I didn't. I never said top 10.
He didn't say a number, but I would say top 10. Like if you're talking about all time, top 10 would be like my threshold.
I've never heard of Wes Unseld.
But
he's number 11.
But we
got you at the top 10.
But look,
Bob McAdoo.
Never heard of McAdoo.
Yes, you have.
I have not. So don't tell me.
Like, so this list has him 12, which to me, greatest like of that the way Elliot phrased it, I would think top 10. But like Elliot also thinks Trevor Lawrence is one of the greatest QBs in the league, and he's probably number 12 too. So yeah.
Nice.
Here we go. It's already starting. There's Hakeem, Shaq.
Oh, that list is way wrong. Shaq's definitely higher than 4.
Moses Malone. I mean,
amazing.
Yeah, but they have him at 6.
Yeah, but look who's above.
Shaq, Wilt.
Bill Russell, and the other Bill, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah. I was thinking Bill
Lampier.
Bill Walton. Bill Walton. Bill Walton's got to be up there. Absolutely.
Bill Walton was injured a lot. He was
the Admiral.
I've never heard of him, but he was probably in the 50s or 60s, I'm assuming.
What gave that away? Black and white picture or no color? Segregation? What gave that away?
I really haven't ever heard of Bob McAdoo, though.
What?
Wow.
I mean, it says Buffalo, so
34 points a game. Somebody we're missing. There's somebody on that I would put in the top 10 that's not. No. No. Okay.
No.
Lost me there. Dwight.
There's Bill Walton.
I don't like
Dwight said recently that his prime Dwight would be better than prime Joker.
All right. That's why I don't like Dwight.
I don't know about
I hated Dwight in LA. I'm a Laker fan. I hate LeBron.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Kevin Love. So
he's more power forward.
Yeah, that's my one reservation with Kevin Love. He played both, but
I mean, people would try and put Dirk in the center too, but he's a power forward.
Dirk was one of my least favorite players.
They even threw Tim Duncan in the center list, but he was more of a power forward.
As a Heat fan, I can't like Dirk. It's not allowed.
Anywho.
Yeah. So
all right, so we got Denver Nuggets, Miami Heat. What's your predictions?
I would never have expected the Nuggets, and I know they've been like the number one team all year, but I never would have expected them to be where they're at.
Denver in 5.
I won't say that. I won't say that. I think
Sorry, Jonathan.
I think it's 7 games, whatever you get.
I don't think Denver can be stopped. You might get them once.
Oh, you're saying that because the Lakers were trash.
You might get them once. The Lakers, first of all, nobody's bragging on the Lakers, but also the Lakers didn't even deserve to be in the spot they were in.
Didn't you pick the Lakers
to what?
To beat the Nuggets?
No. The Lakers didn't even deserve to be in the spot they were in. They were sub 500 until halfway through the season, if not longer.
So they didn't finish sub 500 is what you're saying.
What?
So they didn't finish sub 500 is what you're saying.
No.
So why does it matter that they were sub 500 halfway through the season?
What are you arguing?
No, that's what you just said.
I said the Lakers didn't deserve to be in the spot they were in the playoffs because they were a sub 500 team for the majority of the season.
You said halfway through. That's why. But I'm saying, why does that matter?
Welcome back.
Yeah, like what is this point of this argument? I'm just saying they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs where they were. Period. End of story. That's it.
They were a lower seed.
I mean, they had to play in to get in.
Yeah, but a team would not deserve to be there. And if it wasn't for all the midseason moves, they wouldn't have been there.
Well,
they had
started picking up towards the end of the season.
They
Yeah,
also-
thanks to all those roster moves.
Yeah,
That's it.
injury bug bit them too, though.
Yeah, they still wouldn't have made it any further than when they made it. They were lucky to even be where they were.
So as a Heat fan, I'm not going to bet against the Heat because I want them to win. I'll say Heat in 7. However, I don't say that with a lot of confidence because
Billy says Nuggets.
the Nuggets are like super tall, like their lineup.
They are
which is
big.
going to give the Heat a lot of problems but I don't know. He just played good team basketball.
Well,
I mean,
Michael Porter Jr.'s looked really good.
They're gonna be high scoring games.
and me and Shane were talking earlier. I was like, I'm not comparing Jimmy to like Kobe's obviously the closest we've had to Jordan, like since Jordan's been around. But like everybody jokes that like Jimmy's Jordan's son and stuff like that.
That's what I was about to say. You heard that?
But when you watching, like the killer instinct is there. Like his attitude, like you hear a lot about Jordan like being like cocky but coming off in like a negative way and stuff. Like after they won the final or the game last night. Well, last night when they won, they were doing the trophy celebration and like Bam had the trophy and Bam went to hand it to Jimmy and Jimmy was like, shook his head no, and the camera like panned off and panned back and you could read his lips and he was like, I'll hold the next one. Like just laser. Even everybody else was celebrating and like even in the crowd, like, all the team was smiling and laughing and Jimmy's like stone faced, like just focused. So I think he just has that like mentality that like.
Remember, wasn't it after Game 7 last year against the Celtics?
They lost.
And Jimmy said, we'll be back here next year and we'll win or something like that.
And I like how before the game, now it had me nervous because I was like, okay, this is one of those things that, you always see like, was it putting the cart before the horse or whatever? Yeah. But like all these reports started coming out before like hours before the game last night that the Heat had already booked their flight to Denver before the game even started. And I was like, oh, like that's all right, careful, like don't get too cocky. I mean, you're playing in Boston, but they won. I'm happy.
It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I definitely think it goes 7. I feel like the Heat has so much momentum, and they're that back against the wall, underdog coming out swinging.
The one thing I think that does play against, so it's nice that Denver's had. Well, for Denver, it's nice that they've had time off because it does give you time to like heal and like rest and stuff. But sometimes that, like usually in sports, that's it's always perceived as a good thing. Yeah. But then it always seems to like
bite you.
Yeah, like it takes you a while to come back. Like playoff teams and stuff. It always affects because like you said, the momentum and stuff. They're coasting. They're not really in that environment for a week. So
Billy says the Garden can be a tough place to play in. I mean,
they go to Denver for game 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's 2-2, 1-1-1. One thing that I hadn't really watched the Joker play. Really ever until they played against the Lakers this past series, and I was like, "Whoa!" I mean,
so how many games do you watch?
When
Joker play
4 or 5 this past series. I didn't watch the first series with him, but honestly, because I was like, "Oh, it's Denver."
So
I'll probably watch all 7.
Not to
this game.
Yeah. Stir the pot, but you said he was top 10. You based all that off?
No, I asked.
Games?
I asked the question.
Oh, okay.
I asked the question.
I don't think so.
If he was a top center,
not yet.
And I based on everything I've heard about him, and then they throwing out the stat that he's all-time leader in triple doubles in the playoffs. So that's a big stat.
So I don't think so, but I think he's in his prime right now. So if he continues to play at this level for 2 or 3 more years, maybe, because he's been an MVP candidate the last 2 years, but it's just been the last 2 years. So like he's played well, recently, like really good. But
and that was my question. But seeing a 7-foot plus guy bring the ball up the court like he's been doing, and really facilitating, and having and AD got his shots in too. So there's a couple of blocks I saw AD get. And I was like, oh, dude, he's so long. But watching him play and then thinking back to other centers that I remember watching, to me, and granted, I didn't watch Kareem because he was before my time. The most dominant center I've ever watched is Shaq, by far, especially when it was him and Kobe with the Lakers. I mean,
Shaq in Orlando was even bigger, even better.
Well, I remember Shaq in Orlando, but he was not. To me, he was nowhere near as dominant. He was the highlight, but when he was in LA, he was bigger. He was he wasn't as young, but the dude was just move you out of the way. Like I remember Shaq on the Magic against Olajuwon, and Shaq not being as dominant against the Rockets. I remember that. And but whenever him and Kobe and the Lakers, even when they lost to the Pistons, Shaq was still just a beast. So, but wrestling,
A lot of it.
yeah, we had Night of Champions at 1:00 during the daytime. We had
The Hermit Kingdom.
we got WWE Night of Champions live from Jeddah. We had AEW Double or Nothing. And we got AEW Dynamite tomorrow night.
Which, by the way, I've only been able to see like 2 things announced for the show, which is unlike AEW. Usually they have the whole show announced.
Yeah. What do you think he shows up?
I think he shows up before the show in Chicago.
So I don't think he shows up before the show in Chicago, but I definitely think he's
Talked about.
teased or talked about. Like I think it's
They're already
known, I think
teasing
it's
it.
known that he's there, that he's coming. But
You saw what he did on Instagram with the Danhausen.
I did not.
Didn't I show it to you?
You showed it to me.
It was you? Oh,
Yeah.
So he took a picture of the Forbidden Door poster.
No, it's a collision.
The collision poster with all the faces on it, and made them all Danhausen's faces, but tagged each one as who it was on the poster. So I'm like, okay, this clown. See you in Chicago, punk.
So
It's so weird, man. It's like it's been almost a year, almost since me and Elliot. I said that in the car, and Elliot's like, "What? No." I'm like, 9 months. It's been close because he's fought through what injuries did he just have? Triceps?
Who?
Punk? He was.
This last one was yes. Tricep.
It was something that required him to be gone for a long period of time anyway.
Tricep.
yeah, I said like 9
bicep, or pec.
months.
So like it's all we were.
Before that was his ankle.
Yeah, the whole all out media scrub
Yeah, torn left tricep.
from last year is just so like the timing was impeccable with the injury and it impeccable. Get it? Elliot got it before I did. But like just the timing, man. I think the injury saved his AEW career, to be honest with you. So I'm interested to see what happens this go around. Obviously, you see the roster splitting, or at least who they're promoting on Collision is definitely Punk people. Who knows what happens?
A whole bunch of punks.
Yeah, really.
I was gonna say when it first happened, we were talking, there was a lot of reports coming up that Punk wasn't liked very much backstage and stuff like that.
I've seen just as many reports as being liked.
I was gonna say, I mean, obviously we know him and Danhausen's close, like real close. But then
Cash.
and then he posted a picture
Andrade
this weekend with Brody,
Yeah.
like at a band thing, and then so like House of Black, that whole
But they're
group,
they're on
like
their collision though.
but a lot of that stuff, like like Andrade coming back, like if they really didn't like Punk's gonna be like the headliner of the show, they're not coming back to wrestle on Collision just with him being like all these people have to.
I think Collision at the beginning, like take Punk out of the equation. I don't think Collision was designed in mind to be a show like they're gonna make it. Like how Raw was always the A show and SmackDown was B show, but it's kind of flip flop. This has a likelihood to do that again, and with Collision becoming the number one show.
Mike Smith says, I don't know. David Robinson was down there too. Yeah, I mean he was number
It's Admiral.
He was number 6 or something like that on that list. So, Keith says he watched 4 different wrestling pay-per-views this past weekend. He watched Under Siege, Night of Champions, Double or Nothing, and Battleground.
That's a busy weekend, Keith.
And Ron says, "What's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Ron? Welcome to the show." But let's dive into this Night of Champions real quick.
Can't tell you his name. Insane.
It
cracks me.
I can't tell you. Hey guys, welcome to the show. I'm Ron the Saint Emerson. I think his name's Ron.
Dang it, Ron Kayfabe.
So, Night of Champions kicked off with the World Heavyweight Championship match with Seth freaking Rollins versus the phenomenal AJ Styles.
That was a very highly touted, highly talked about match.
That was good.
And rightfully so. I mean, you got 2 of the best in the ring. I did not think Seth was going to get it because of his Hollywood stuff, but nevertheless, he is the architect. And he's always been one of Triple H's chosen ones.
Yeah, ironic. Triple H gave the belt.
It was a very good match, and it was very worthy of a secondary title.
So, is Edge on his way out sometime sooner than we think? I mean, things are pointing that way here. Like, we've been talking about a couple months.
Who was it that recently said, don't be surprised if Edge has his final match outside of WWE?
Matt Hardy.
Yeah, it was Matt Hardy. Version 1.
I'm just saying, it's a possibility.
Owner of Ethan Page's contract. Ron says, hey, at least you remember me.
I heard you say Ethan, and I heard Ethan Case, not Ethan Page, and I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay. Then it took me a second.
We'll get to that though. Seth Rollins with the win. He is your new World Heavyweight Champion. Good match.
I heard this match was trash. Is that true?
Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus.
Now come on.
I heard opposite. I heard Billy mention
he said he thought it might have been the best match on the card.
It's probably the best match on the card.
Who?
Billy.
Fox? Oh, well, Billy. Yeah, he's lying.
But I will say that I think Trish,
there's a grade.
She still has it. Like,
awful.
She still has it. I mean, she looked good.
Oh, let's read notable moments and observations. You're an idiot.
So, Zoe Stark.
Ow.
Zoe Stark interfered, helps Trish get the win. But notable moments, Lynch busted out the Bruce Lee / Kill Bill inspired gear for this match.
Okay.
Stratus looked like she was more prepared for this match than she had been for her tag match with the Man. Veteran dropped way too early on a net breaker, and it made the move look very awkward. Stratus spine buster looked good. Corey Graves said, I paid $11 for a blue check mark. That makes me a journalist. So a quote. So a quote.
Twitter quote.
That's what it was referring to, yes.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Elliot's
Elliot's favorite.
Because, all these dirt sheets, everybody's like, oh, they got a blue check mark. They're reliable.
Oh.
We love Brian Alvarez.
Yeah.
And Raj Giri. Yeah, he was the one that reported all that stuff about Punk, like getting handed lawyer papers from AEW, and then like that was like the only source. Like he was off the air when he said it. Like, okay, give me a break,
sir. I fully believe Punk was served some paper, especially recently.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay. Nah.
I mean, maybe not as early as Raj said.
Okay.
You know, just saying.
Intercontinental title match.
He came out later and backtracked and was like,
Well, that's what I said.
What?
That's what I'm referring to. I'm like, maybe he wasn't right in the beginning, but at some point he got served papers.
Intercontinental title match with Mustafa Ali versus Gunther.
He's on NXT now.
Who?
Ali.
Really?
Yeah, debuted tonight.
Hmm.
That was kind of cool.
Um,
Or maybe that was a spoiler for a taping. I don't know. But he was on NXT.
yeah, so Gunther with the win. Going to the moon.
Oh, God bless JC Myers. God bless AML. And God bless WrestleCade. That's all I'm saying.
check it out on Facebook.
Yes. Gunther.
Yeah, so Intercontinental title match. Ali, good reception from the home crowd. He's from Chicago, but you know, he's there.
So is Punk.
Yep. Ali had special gear made for the match.
Ali's got such a great look, man. I
like
I
Ali's
hope
look.
they give him a big push.
I really liked his 054 he used to do, but they don't do it no more for some reason. You remember the 054?
I don't.
So he does a 450.
I was gonna say it's
inverted.
inverted.
Yeah. So he gets on the top rope with his back toward his opponent, and he jumps backward, but then does a front flip.
Sounds dangerous. That's
Probably why they stopped it. Yeah. It wasn't long, but lot of action in a few minutes. Good job telling the underdog story, but everyone knew what the end result was going to be. Ali's just man. One thing, Ali's very Dolph Ziggler-esque.
I take that back. This next match is what Billy said was the best match on the card.
Now this I can believe.
Yeah. Oh, it sucked.
Oh no.
He said, Bill's like, oh my gosh, it sucked. No story.
And then me and Elliot was like, they've been feuding since Mania. Before Mania.
Oh, he spit in her eye. Oh man. Billy says best women's match by far of the pay-per-view.
Between Asuka and Bianca, got it.
Yeah. Not what he was saying. Rollins Styles close second to Roman Solo and Sami and Kevin. Michael says, I haven't watched wrestling in years. I catch clips every now and then on TikTok and find myself checking out more and more. I love Logan Paul. No, is Logan Paul still a wrestler or was that just a gimmick? So
not only is he a wrestler, but he's low key probably one of the most talented people in the business.
Yeah, he's very, very talented as a wrestler, Michael.
And he's over.
Yeah. I think it's all about contracts now. He's fulfilled his 1 year already. So we'll see what happens. But
he'll be at SummerSlam.
I'm sure he will. All about the money.
He needs to be. Yeah, Logan's just one of those people, man, who had no wrestling experience but has the heart and passion of a fan.
And he's athletic.
And he wanted to get better.
Yep.
And wanted to get good. And from the first match he had to the now 4 that he's had, 5, he's only gotten better. Absolutely fantastic.
Keith says Asuka versus Belair was the best women's match at Night of Champions.
That's because Keith knows what he's talking about.
Oh, fighting words there, Billy.
He'll be at the next show, Billy.
Front row.
Keith, yeah, he'll be front row. We'll show you where he's at.
He'll be toting the Rated R Superstar
Championship belt. Keith's like, dang it.
But Raw Women's Championship. This is where WWE really ticks me off.
Tweaks my melons.
Really grinds my gears. It's the Raw Women's Championship match for 2 women that are on SmackDown. Let's not switch the belts, guys.
Yeah.
So, anywho, you had that.
Elliot's OCD kicked in.
It was like that with the SmackDown. I mean, Rhea's got the
that's what I'm saying.
SmackDown belt,
and she's on Raw.
And she fought Natalya, and Natalya's on Raw.
So,
Is it better than a C plus?
you had Belair versus Asuka, and you crowned a new women's champion
Ooh, not by much.
in Asuka. So,
what Billy said he didn't like, but what I thought was a different way to end it. So, because like the storyline on SmackDown was that Asuka had put like peppers or something in the mist, something hot in the mist that she was using, but she tried to spray Bianca during the match and she missed. And then later, because she had it, it was still like
Get it?
all running down. Yeah, I get it. She stuck her fingers like in her mouth and was like getting it all over her fingers, and then like smeared it in Bianca's face.
Good thing COVID's over.
It was,
I'm sorry, I missed it.
a different way to end the match. You know,
There goes Fox.
Billy says, "What story? Spit in your face and boom, story. I think not. To change the story, let me lick my fingers and Three Stooges. No. Oh,
hey, Three Stooges was highly entertaining. For a
it very
while.
was.
It was back then.
Bleacher Report gives that a B minus. Just saying. Yeah, mercy.
Oh God, I can't even read it. Next.
So,
Ooh,
we also had Rhea Ripley versus Natalia.
grade incomplete.
It was Natalia's birthday. That's the highlight.
Keith Hensley might be right.
Ripley's attire looked like it would
So I heard this was a squash.
squeak every
right?
time she moved.
Oh yeah,
There wasn't
And
much to
Natalia
this.
was talking all this trash up to the show.
and it was her birthday.
There wasn't much to this, so it's hard to grade. It made Ripley look dominant, but she always looks that way. So having the Queen of Hearts job to her seemed a little pointless. Quote from Bleacher Report.
Playing with the Queen of Hearts. Get it?
Mm-hmm. Incomplete.
You know it's bad. There you go.
Then
Finish the story.
At this point, just finish it.
finish it. You have Brock Lesnar versus Cody
Put
Rhodes.
Put him down.
Put that dog out of misery.
Brock Lesnar with the win after
No.
he since he broke Cody's arm
He's always breaking people's arms.
Raw before in the Kimura lock.
That's how he broke Triple H's. Broke my arm.
Cody doesn't tap out. He doesn't
Nightmare.
get pinned.
No, can't lose.
He passes out.
Never gave up.
So I'm like,
Can you get the
I
word?
know, because I we know where I stand on the Cody situation, but all things considered, where everything was at before the match started, this was the outcome that made the most sense by far of any of the matches that Cody's been involved in the last 6 months.
Can somebody do me a favor and just read that third bullet point?
If that cast had titanium in it, it was only small strips for support. Commentary made it seem like he was hitting Lesnar with a metal gauntlet.
I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh. Beat me.
Cody winning there doesn't make sense to me based on how they
Correct.
built the match. So it made sense for Brock to win. It's just it shouldn't have been to this point.
Cody
shouldn't have got to this point.
Cody with another fire promo on Raw though. Again,
the story continues, and it's got a long way to go.
That's fine.
I'm wondering. So, all right,
Hold on. Go ahead.
You had your moment where you thought, I think you're both on the same page, where you thought Cody should have won, right? And I had my opinion on it, and I still share that same opinion. But now it's like a roller coaster, right? You're up there, and now you did the bottom of the hill.
you're parked.
The ride has been shut off.
Yeah, the ride's over.
Screechy call.
Okay.
They're having to do maintenance to the ride.
All right,
We're
so
caught in the middle of it.
All right, as
We'll reopen next April.
So as the little engine that could makes his way
We're rebranding.
back up that hill. So what needs to happen? Let's just say that this ultimate story ends in Cody winning the championship at WrestleMania 40. Like I think it's going to.
I don't even care no more.
No. But hang on. Let's take off our emotions and opinions on it. And what does WWE need to do to make that story from now until WrestleMania 40 as think of it related to like the bloodline make it as memorable or as impassioned or interesting as possible.
Turn back time.
I'm being serious.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't think
do you bring in Dustin Rhodes and make it like personal at some point, because that could happen. I mean, what does WWE need to do to regain your interest in that story? Nothing. There's nothing that they could do.
I don't know.
I don't see it, because even no matter what I try, like you said, Dustin. Like, to me, I don't think. I mean, he has the name value. Like, he's he's not a superstar right now. I mean, he's got that lineage and the relationship
Sure.
to Cody, but I don't see him moving the needle in the storyline. The name that makes the most sense to insert it to make it would be The Rock, but The Rock, the issue there was that he came out and had that video before the match at Mania this past year where he was like, oh, like, I love Cody, but like Roman's family. So, like, to me, him coming out takes back what he cut in the promo before the match, before Mania this year. I just don't.
What if it involved certain friends of Cody coming in from AEW 2024? That could happen.
It could, and that would, to me, that would make
this is what I'm asking. I'm just trying to keep dialogue.
Current story exciting, but I just don't think it would be as big of a.
I don't know that this
culmination as it could have been this past year.
I don't know that the story can play out that long. But to me, there's nothing they can do to make that last and get the same result they could have had, or a better reaction or result that they could have had from this past WrestleMania.
Look, I'm all for long-term storytelling. I am, when it makes sense. This doesn't make sense. Cody came back at the Rumble or at Mania the year before, and then got hurt and like spent the whole time coming back at the Rumble. That was his story. I get, like, it was not predetermined because obviously it didn't happen, but it was like.
But don't you almost think it would have been like too easy and too predictable for Cody to come back?
That's what I'm saying. It was too predictable. It was
to win the Rumble and win
predictable,
Mania?
But sometimes it doesn't have to be complex.
Sometimes the easiest thing to do makes the most sense. I mean, and
like to me, they overthought it. And
you go back, and Jonathan made this point last week. You go back, and if the only thing you changed at WrestleMania is
we thought about this today, actually,
is Cody winning the belt, everything else makes sense now.
Because Brock couldn't challenge Roman for the title. That was in the stipulation when he lost last match. So Cody winning allows Brock to come in. Now he can challenge for the belt. He attacks Cody. That everything stays the same on Cody's side. He's away from Roman. They still have the rematch at Mania, and then therefore the rematch makes sense because Cody immediately had Brock to deal with. Roman does his own thing with the bloodline, all that stuff with Sami and KO, because that's still an issue. I mean, everything could still be at where it's at now. But just Cody having the belt and everything makes 10 times more sense. All of it.
Do you think Cody was the original plan to win the belt at some point before some sort of change or shift in power or merger talk changed anything? Or do you think it's always been this way?
I don't think they knew until Mania.
It's hard to tell because we said, like, when Cody got hurt, we were talking because, like, he said, so that's you talk about long-term storytelling. He said when he came out against Rollins at Mania, when he came back the next night on Raw, his promo was about winning the title. So it had been a year,
right?
Like, whether he was hurt or not, it had still been a year. So to me, it's just, I don't know, like it. The storylines, like, to me, it reminds me of like Bray coming back. So Bray came back. It was super exciting. It was exciting for the months leading up to his return. He came back. It was exciting. And then it was like they were dragging it on too long. It was like, okay, well, where are we going? Like, let's get somewhere. And then it just, I mean, there was no end to the storyline. So to this point, I mean, Bray hasn't been on TV for months. And then, but there's no like. There was no, it was like in like mid storyline, and it was just gone. Like, he just hadn't been on TV. So I get the plan, so to speak, maybe for Cody and Roman to fight at Mania, but again, that's still 10 months away. Like, a lot can change. Injuries could happen. There's still a lot that can change. I just think you strike while the iron's hot. Cody is still the biggest babyface they got. It made too much.
Biggest merch mover,
it did
too.
make the most. I mean, it was predictable, but it made the most sense. Like it was what the fans wanted.
Okay, but even Cody not being the champion and being quote what the fans wanted, he's still the number one merch mover in WWE right now.
I
So
mean,
obviously the fans are still clamoring for him.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're not, but I'm
talking about
I just don't think any other match where he wins the title would have the same impact that it would have had at this past Mania. Like I don't see a way for WWE to continue to build the story to where the match, if he eventually beats Roman anywhere, that it has the same impact that it would have had. Like he's already lost. Like he's done. Like it.
Billy says the story's over. It ended at Mania. He says, and then they drafted Roman and Cody to two different brands.
But that again,
To protect Roman.
Cody wins the match, wins the titles. Roman's supposed to have his rematch. He's been the title holder for almost 1,000 days. You draft them to separate brands. They announce the new belt then or whatever they decide to do, and then it makes sense to have Roman and Cody separated until Mania next year. Have Roman win the Rumble. I don't like. There's ways for them to get back to Mania.
Yeah.
Like
they will get there.
But I'm saying it again, that to me, that pathway makes way more sense.
Yeah.
If Cody wins the belt to do all this to get them eventually back for a rematch, not Cody losing. Like all the momentum was gone.
I just think my interest in Cody is kind of peaking. Like I want to see what he does. Like it's so unpredictable to me.
Billy says then put the other belt on Seth, who was having some secret love affair with Roman. The way he talked about him in his pre-tape promos.
Only Billy.
Keith says, I'm more interested in Cody now than I was at WrestleMania. For me, he's the one reason I watch Raw, but I hope he does beat Roman at some point, as he is my favorite in WWE right now.
So I was when you said you were interested, I am still interested in what Cody does, because to me, I mean, he is the best thing on Raw. Like every promo he's cut.
I think he's the best thing in WWE.
It's money, but I just don't think I think like we always talk about, like it's the moments and stuff like that. And I don't think you go back in time, or if Cody would have beat Roman, if you visualize that moment, I don't see that moment happening down the road the way it could have happened. Like I don't see the moment being as big. I'm not saying that Cody, because my thing is Cody's a star. We all know that. He came back a star. He's a star. But I think having him go over Roman that night solidifies everything. Like he is at that point, he's made. But now, because he's a step below Roman, I think the longer you have the match not go on, the more Cody creeps up to where he's on Roman's level. And then therefore, I think the win's not like him surpassing, you know what I'm saying? Like he's already there. Like it's not him catapulting him to that level, which is I think what the moment would have been if he would have beat Roman.
Michael says, shouldn't Roman have gone Hollywood by now? The next Rock?
I don't know if Roman's gonna have that kind of career in Hollywood. I think Rock's fantastic, man.
Bud says, what's up, fellas? Hey Bud, welcome to the show. Well, speaking of Roman though, had a match, him and Solo versus tag team champions Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Roman will be in Fast 12.
I knew it. And you were gonna say it.
As Shaw's brother.
Jesus.
Hobbs' brother. I meant not Shaw.
I mean, he was in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what, cousin, wasn't he? No, it wasn't your brother. It was a cousin or brother.
Something, but I'm just
all the same.
His character will come back somehow in Fast 12.
Wow. He'll be revealed to be
hey, this is our
Jason
head of the
Momoa's
table.
brother. And The Rock. They're all happy family.
Main event. Tag team championship match with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Good match.
Go ahead. I have it pulled up too. I'm just laughing at the first bullet point, but we'll get there.
Sami Zayn wrestling in Saudi Arabia. Amazing.
Which the crowd was like, I've read somewhere that somebody thought the crowd was booing. The crowd was completely behind Sammy from the moment he walked out.
It's a big deal, man.
Amazing reception and response to Sami Zayn. Zayn wore special entrance attire and gave himself and KO a special introduction in Arabic.
He's fully fluent in Arabic.
That's what I'm saying. That was what the crowd was.
They love that.
Up.
He's Syrian. He's Syrian. He's Muslim. So
you'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Oh, dadgummit. SYRIAN, not SIRI.
Oh, that was you. I was like, why is he talking?
However, did you get a chance to watch it at all?
Watch the highlights of this match. The highlights.
Okay, so from a psychology standpoint,
yeah,
and the crowd, Roman's definitely in his element because it was supposed to be KO and Roman. They were starting off the match. The crowd, you could tell the crowd couldn't wait for Sammy to get in. So before the match started, like KO was like the crowd was chanting. So KO tagged Sammy in. So it was Sammy and Roman, and the crowd, like Roman's like playing to the crowd, trying to get them to quiet down, and then they just keep getting louder, which smart thing to do. And so what does Roman do? He just tags out.
Genius.
It was good. I mean, it was just a good way to start the match.
But Reigns tags Solo to a quote unquote chorus of boos. But good match, man. Solo, and the more I see Solo, the more he reminds me of Umaga. He's so powerful. But Sammy and KO with the win. But we saw Jimmy and Jay make an appearance in the match, insert themselves. Jimmy with a super kick to Roman, not one time, but 2 times. And
they were both really good, but to me, the second one was
when he's on his knees
was money.
Jay the whole time, bro, what are you doing? Jimmy, hey, I'm doing what you should have done a long time ago. So Jay still, kind of torn. Jimmy being the second one to come into the fold. Being I guess kind of almost like the first one to get out the fold. Because you got to remember Jimmy protected Jay when Jimmy came back from ACL surgery. So, but I'm still loving this story.
Oh, I mean, I'm glad. I mean, I think it was the right time to start the implosion.
Yeah. Notable moments and observations. Reigns' entrance has officially become as long as the Undertaker's. At least he was walking a little quicker this time since the hour was so long.
I laughed at because so the story, so I was driving home. Took me forever to get home, but so when I got home, this was the match I wanted to see. I was like, all right, I was playing, so I was doing something. I cut the match on, and when I cut the match on, the part I saw was the crowd chanting for Sammy when Roman tagged out. I didn't see the entrances, so I went back and rewound it so I could see from the moment that Roman and Solo came out, because they came out first. From the moment they came out to where I was at, I got to that part where they were at the match, and I was like, well, let me just see. And when I fast forwarded, the match was over. So the entrances were just as long as the match. So from the time Solo walked out to the time the match actually started was just as long, the match was just the same length. And I was like, wow, that's so much time. I mean, it's like 25 minutes. It took forever.
Thinking about his entrance music, have you ever noticed how similar it is to The Rock's? Not chord progression wise, but just the sound of it. It's very similar. I was just thinking about that. It's almost like WCW whenever they took
Everybody's.
everybody's and they inverted the chords.
What are you talking about? Self high five. Sorry, Cobain.
But yeah, so that wrapped up Night of Champions. And got us ready for AEW Double or Nothing.
Ugh.
Shane wasn't a fan of the Shane didn't seem like he was a fan of the show.
I wasn't a fan of the show until the last two matches.
Very much so agree.
Maybe the trios match was pretty good. Like, well, I take that back. So I said in the chat, I think that
I was like, definitely said, "Oh, this sucks."
I was like, this. I mean, out of all the AEW pay-per-views that I've watched, this is by far the worst. I mean, it
Awful.
was. Now the last like 4 matches, the trios match, the TBS title, women's championship, and then the 2 main events made up for it. It ended up being a decent show, but for the most part, the pay-per-view sucked. And
even Anarchy in the Arena, dude, like that match was ruined for me. Just the music, we'll talk about it. Just that whole pay-per-view, I give the edge. I think WWE won the weekend. The Double or Nothing is a really supposed to be a hard hitting show. It's supposed to be one of your big ones, right?
And AEW's only got 4 pay-per-views, so they're all supposed to be big.
Well, 4 big pay-per-views, but they have their specials. The Battle of the Belts,
actual pay-per-views, like paid. I gotta spend money to buy.
I mean, honestly, dude, I would give like the entirety of AEW's pay-per-view a C at best.
I will say, I mean, it's unfair. This statement I'm about to make is unfair just because up until now it hasn't been the case. But me and Trevor were talking on the way home Sunday, and I was like, I think AEW, I would like to see them have more pay-per-views, like maybe every other month. We've talked about this on the show because I think some of the pay-per-views are so like spaced out, but this one wasn't. Revolution was like March, and then
you got to look at what they're doing.
However, my issue, I think, with why some of the moments on the pay-per-view don't come across as well is because they do so much stuff on free TV. Like you said, that they have all these shows, but even really regular Dynamites, they'll have
big moments,
last man standing matches or stuff like ladder matches. I mean, there's like the blood's all over the place. I mean, they're like it's good to see, I mean, it's nice to see those things consistently, but it's like they have such big moments because like they may go 4 months between pay-per-views, so they have to tell stories just that only last 2 months that are strictly just on Dynamite. Like the story's over by the time the next pay-per-view gets there. But because you're seeing payoffs to storylines on TV, I think sometimes the matches on the pay-per-view don't hit as hard as or as impactful as they should be because you're used to seeing this stuff weekly.
I guess it's not a bad thing for consistency, but you got to give people an incentive to buy.
But that's what I'm saying. I think putting so much good quality, like interesting things on TV, and not having as many like only 4 pay-per-views, I think sometimes is hindering the product that we're seeing on the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
if it's not on the money, like if they build it right, it's fantastic. But a lot of the mid-card stuff like that, it's just like, okay, like.
Well, I mean, you had the buy-in with the trios match with Hardy's and Hook versus Ethan Page and the Guns.
Real quick before we get that, but let me ask you this, both. So, if the crowd was piping hot, the exact same show, and the crowd was piping hot, you think that would change your grade?
No,
I do. Absolutely,
not for me because the match quality without the crowd was awful.
But you don't think they're feeding off the crowd? I mean, the crowd, I think the crowd, from what I saw for most of the show, the crowd was awful.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there was
moments where I was watching it, there was I mean, not like bad reaction, just zero reaction for chunks of the thing. And I was like,
Listen,
as a performer,
listen,
that has to be like
Chris
what's going on.
Chris Statlander returned, beat Jade, and there was hardly any pop.
Well, I thought it was a good reaction for Chris.
I went back and watched it, and it was kind of dull.
Well, there's only 7,000 people in the crowd. You guys, it's not a big arena.
Yeah, but I've way better reactions on Dynamite.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we've been to Dynamite that has great reactions, but I don't know. Like if you put the same exact show with or without the crowd reactions, like if nothing changed match quality wise, yeah, and they do feed off the crowd, of course. But if nothing changed, my opinion wouldn't change.
I'm not saying that it goes from a C pay-per-view to an A. I'm just saying I think you
get a B plus.
Ultimately feels better as a show. Like you don't look at it like that was part of the matches weren't great, and the crowd also wasn't into the matches as much as I'm accustomed to seeing, and then therefore the combination of the two, I was like, bro, this is not like, not only am I not entertained at home watching this, but like the crowd, like obviously they're even the people in person aren't reacting. So like there's a disconnect somewhere.
You take that Backlash pay-per-view in Puerto Rico,
yeah,
and you put that in front of this Vegas crowd and had that Vegas crowd, there's no way you give it the same grade.
No, but you're not talking the same quality of show. That Backlash card match for match puts this to shame.
That's my point though. You don't get the same grade because of the crowd.
Even if you took the Backlash crowd out of it, if there's no crowd, that show was fantastic.
I think I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I am saying is that your feel for the show changes. To Jonathan's point, we have a hot crowd at PCW. Our show's better, but there's been times we've had good shows and the crowd has just not been into it.
But you talk about the backlash thing. Why did you cut on Backlash?
Why did I watch Backlash?
Why did you cut it on? Now, why did you watch it? Why did you cut it on?
I can't remember why I turned it on, but
I know you were reading the crowd. You said that you were seeing all these people talk about the crowd going nuts, and that was what made you turn it on. At least that's what you said.
That's what you said in chat.
Yeah. I turned it on, and the first thing I noticed was the crowd. I remember that. I think it was before Bad Bunny match. But I mean, again, it doesn't change the quality of wrestling.
But I know I'm not saying it does, but it's if you know that. You can tell that the people there are into it. It does help.
If the people are reacting, that means it's good.
Right.
So if the people aren't reacting,
not necessarily.
Bad. If they're cheering or booing, you're displaying something that's getting a rise out of people. It's getting that pop from the crowd. So if the crowd is dead, as you said in certain points, that means they're not doing something right from a production standpoint, from a match standpoint. The crowd only reacts to what you do or don't do.
And then I
haven't ever been a fan of the Vegas crowd.
I would say, again, it's an unfair comparison to make because obviously AEW has run in Vegas before, and I don't recall it being the crowd being as bad. But on Jarrett's podcast, when he said that after WCW closed, and then he was working for the whatever All-Star company he was working for before TNA.
Yeah,
they started running. They announced that they were running shows in Vegas, and he was like, "That was He was like, It was a terrible idea. I knew from the get-go." He was like, because you have to run pay-per-views on East Coast time.
Okay,
so it's 8:00 here, it's 5:00 there. He was like, people are in the middle of, they're just getting off work, or they're in the middle of like shift changes, or in Vegas, people are just getting up. Like he was like, it's just not the best time. And he was like, and as much as like, yes, you may have wrestling fans in Vegas, but most people that live in Vegas don't really do a lot of Vegas things because it's just all tourists. And he was like, so you have to really get lucky with the crowd you're going to get. He was like, you're not going to get like wrestling. You might not necessarily get wrestling fans. You have people that are there for a week that are just looking for something to do, that might just be like, hey, there's something here, let's go there. Half the people in the crowd might not even know what's going on storyline wise. And I don't believe that they were giving out tickets to cheeseburgers and with a combo purchase that people were reporting, but the Vegas crowd's weird. It's a weird time. You think, I mean, Vegas is such a lively place, but there's so much to do for one. But then if you're there, or you go into a pay-per-view, or if somebody's like, hey, hey, there's this wrestling show, let me go check it out. I have no idea what storyline is.
I don't know. Looking at previous Double or Nothings, man, like even the cards were just, I don't know, more captivating as far as like matches that were happening. If you look at just the matches that were announced for Double or Nothing, it just, nothing really hit, but for me were the two.
The last Double or Nothing was Page versus Punk.
Yeah, Punk's. I mean, hurrah! I mean, it's kind of hard.
So we'll go match by match breakdown, but like just based on this card. So from a storyline standpoint, you had the battle royal. Okay, like there really is no storyline there. It's just a bunch of people entered in.
You gotta get them paid. I get it.
The Cole Chris Jericho match. I think to me, I think they did way too much with it. Like, what was the purpose of having Sabu involved at all?
Dude, he came out at the beginning. That was it.
It was stupid.
Like to me, it was like
got the pop of the crowd and Dynamite. Okay, that's it.
But the unsanctioned thing, like to me, I think you expected more to happen in the match, like with outside people. The fact that they were building it, like having Sabu, like to me, everything they did made you think, like, okay, there's gonna be way more than what.
I was waiting for more ECW guys.
Like what was more, like what you actually got. So therefore, it was a letdown. Jarrett, FTR. I mean, it was
okay.
They had moments. But
hey, shout out, big ups to Aubrey. She ate that guitar. Ate it good.
I mean, somebody else. The other ref got kicked or got hit too. It was awesome. Aubrey got hit in the first one, right? Aubrey was the second one.
Not Mike Knox. Who's the other one?
The one got hit in the Anarchy in the arena. Like he got bumped in the corner. Awesome. It was like all bloodied. And
it was a bad night for referees.
But to me, like, so FTR is supposed to be the best tag team in the world. FTR is like a lot consider them the best tag team in the world. And then you got like Lethal and Jarrett. I mean, not bad, but I don't know. It's just like the storyline getting there was more entertaining than the match itself.
I agree.
The promos and stuff.
Catching up real quick. Keith said Double or Nothing was the first pay-per-view he's bought, but didn't really get into the show until the trios match. I love Chris Statler's return, and Moxley's promo is what made him buy the pay-per-view. Also stated, didn't Tony say something about it not being a good crowd in the medium scrum after the show?
I didn't see the media scrum.
He was hoping that Cal and Bobby were going to show up and help Adam Cole.
That was Elliot's hope.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the way they presented the match made you think, okay, there's something here.
There's more people involved.
To me, what you got was extreme letdown on what you thought you were going to get. I mean, all around the match, the crowd, the interference. I mean, like you expected interference because he just had the unsanctioned match with Strong on Dynamite, and Cole got, they went out the arena and stuff. To me, I just expected more to happen, and then but then the whole ending, like it's unsanctioned, and then they called the match. Like it's just weird.
Referee stoppage.
I mean, Warlow and Christian Cage in the ladder match. I like
great Wardlow spot from the top of the ladder.
One of them was, yes.
Got it. I got to give the man credit.
Yes, the jump where he about crashed through the ladder and shattered the shin.
That's because the ladder broke. But
oh yeah, it looked bad.
But to me, this match would have been better. Warlow versus Luchasaurus with Christian at ringside, not with Christian. Christian's not. I mean that.
You got to have Christian in the match. It's a ladder match.
Yeah,
that's his thing. You got to give the crowd a thought that he can win. It's Christian's match. That's what it was.
Christian Cage.
Ugh. But then you got the Hater match. I mean, Hater's hurt.
So I liked how they booked that. In hindsight, I was pissed at first because I don't like Tony Storm.
I do. I think Tony Storm's great.
But then after that was where the pay-per-view started to turn around.
Okay.
But everything up there, it was like not thrown together. There was just like so much stuff where you just anticipated something happening and everything was like if haters like as much as I get why they booked it the way they did because especially with Tony because the whole thing was like this whole interim thing. So if haters hurt, like you got to just have Tony win the match. You can't just strip hater and it be a new interim or whatever. But like if she's really hurt, the match isn't going to be great from a wrestling standpoint. And then the battle royal, like there's none of the matches were worthy of a pay-per-view to me until the trios match happened, and then it started getting there.
And then
and even the trios match, like they announced that
Day of
House of Black was going to be on the pay-per-view and have a match, but it was like you didn't know who they were fighting until the match started. Now I thought it was going to be the Acclaim because I was looking at the card and I was like, okay, well that's a trio that's not on the card already. But to like Billy's point about Asuka, Bianca, there was no build to that. Like it was just a match.
Yeah,
it was a good match, but it was just a match. I mean, it had some funny moments, but nothing. The part about the Jay Taya match that actually made it interesting was again something that wasn't announced. And it wasn't the match; it was what happened after the match. Like nothing about the show for 3/4 of the show was good in my opinion. I was let down. I was like, this is I almost wish Jarrett would have won the tag titles. At least something exciting would have happened, which is bad.
Yeah. But House always wins. Although I loved how Billy Gunn showed out in the match.
Oh, I mean, it had
a couple lines I enjoyed.
Yeah. F you.
But the highlight of the match was Caster's pre-match rap.
Yes.
Which, listening to it when it happened, like I just knew that he had brought up Dominic, which didn't even matter what he said. All I just heard was Dominic. I went back and listened to it after, and I was like, oh, I didn't exactly catch what he said until afterwards, and I was like, oh, that's way worse than what I thought, what I heard. But apparently,
called him a cuck.
Yeah, cucked by Dominic. But the crowd was chanting "Who's your mommy" and stuff like that during the match, so it was funny.
Oh man, that was so funny.
But yeah. What was after that?
Well, anything before that we want to go back and hit?
No, it's all in the gutter so far. Got it.
No, I mean,
to me, it was most of it wasn't even worth talking about. It was
that bad.
Was constant misses.
I mean, the women's match was quick booking. I mean, Hater's injured. Hence is why she didn't wrestle the week or two before when she was supposed to. My guess is it's probably a quick surgery to repair something so she can be back in time for Wembley. Is what I'm thinking. Don't know. I do believe if it's her shoulder though, and whenever she was pinned up against the steps, Tony Storm went and drop kicked the steps and completely missed. And Hater told her to go back and do it again. Go do it again.
Like that top rope elbow drop.
This is your champion.
She's fantastic.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, B-. Great job.
Well, and they put mostly for the best booking of the night at this point.
See? In the gutter.
But you then had TBS championship match.
This was good.
The match I didn't think was that good.
It was actually really good, especially with the return of Chris.
Oh, that part was good. I'm talking about the match.
I thought the match was decent.
Yeah, it's better than the Tony Storm one.
You said in the chat, so that one girl uses her finisher better, and she kicks out at 2, and then followed up.
That doesn't mean the whole match. Okay, every match has its moments I'm not a fan of. That was definitely
the storyline. Is that they have the same finisher? They're going into the match. That's legit been the storyline of their feud. Is that they have the same finisher?
Yes, but
he doesn't watch Rampage.
I thought it was stupid. It's more than just Rampage, but I thought it was stupid how one did it, and like I don't know, it's just dumb. But the match was good. Just a moment I wasn't a fan of.
I mean, the
Pretty girls walk like this.
Dumb. Get stupid. That's so
It's like
dumb.
the hottest thing on TikTok right now.
I know it. I'm familiar with it, but it's just dumb how they put that on the show.
I thought it was a good tribute to her sorority. I'm part of.
Just cute. Next.
Chris Statlander makes a return though. Gets the pin after Smart Mark issued the open challenge after
Not so smart now.
yeah.
There's
Now,
your
do you think? Hold on. So, do you think the plan was? So I think no matter what the plan was for Statlander to come back at
yes.
the pay per view. Do you think the plan when the pay per view started was to have her win the belt?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't.
I think if
100%.
I think she comes out. I don't think they have the match. I think the crowd they needed. I think that was on the fly to try to do something to like save the show.
I think the plan was to put it on Statlander before she blew her knee out.
Yeah.
I'm not
It was
saying
a
that
reward.
the moment that she wouldn't have won the belt. But I think she would have just come out and like had there just been a stare down or something happened. Maybe Jade attacks Tay after the match, and then Statlander makes a save. Because I think I'm not gonna say the moment was wasted because the moment was fantastic. The show needed it, but that's why I think it happened. I think the show needed it.
The show needed that shot of
I think you
adrenaline.
could have had the moment later, and it would have been big too. I just think the show needed something. So I'm not saying that it was 100% on the fly, but I think I'd be curious to see if that was fully the decision before the show.
Next match of the night.
Your match of the
Because
night.
it woke the crowd up.
Yeah, definitely the match of the night.
By far.
4-way match for the AEW World Championship. Had the 4 pillars of Jungle Boy Jack Perry, AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara.
I think it was the wrong call making these guys go semi-main event. Because if they were going before the main event, they were not going to be one-upped. And they killed it in every way, shape, and form.
So I think I said this Sunday, and then you or Billy One said that it was with the anarchy in the arena. Like they're going to be all over the arena. Like you kind of have to do it last. Like I don't think it was meant.
I thought they would have been all over the arena.
Well, they were. I mean, they fought in the crowd to start the match. At some point, they didn't show it, but like Claudio had one of the Jacksons on his shoulders and was like going to the stairwell out by the concession stand, and they were showing it, and then they cut to Moxley because he was falling on the glass and the poker chip, and they never went back to Claudio at all until they were like outside the truck. So I thought something happened there. There was so much chaos in the match that it's hard to.
How long did they keep? Let's talk about our 4 pillars before we get.
Shout out to Sammy and Ty for welcoming the
congratulations with the child,
along with Alexa Bliss. She announced today that her and Ryan Cabrera are expecting their first child, so that's why she hasn't been on TV. I guess I'm back to Trish being my woman on TV.
One of my favorite spots of the night was whenever I think it was Darby Allin attempted a tope suicida and Sammy Guevara caught him in a cutter outside the ring.
It was smooth,
very smooth. But yeah, so you had the 4 pillars match. MJF gets the win, gets the pin against Allin.
With the
very reminiscent of the past. The headlock takeover.
And so the whole match I think was well done. So obviously the 4 pillars was the storyline and them being the thing, but they all played like. I mean, you had Jungle Boy use Christian's move during the match. I mean, you had Darby using Sting stuff. Mm-hmm. You had MJF use Crossroads. Sammy was using stuff like he did the Eddie Guerrero thing. Like they all were kind of like
Sammy using Lion Tamer.
Doing things that their mentors would have taught them or like inspiration stuff. I think it was.
And they called it Walls of Jericho, which I thought was kind of funny. And then MJF doing the Rick Rude and the
Ric
Ric Flair
Flair,
strut
the Ricks.
was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
You thought it was more Val Venus, yes, didn't you?
Oh, I did. I thought Val Venus. I was like, Val Venus? And he's like, Rick Rude. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense.
It definitely had
Val Venus.
more like it was definitely more rude because of the hand. Like I don't know, like I definitely got rude.
That and who wants to mimic Val Venus?
Well, and Val Venus always he would do it, and then he would take his hand and go all the way down his body.
Yeah.
But
Chris Candido.
Yeah.
There's a lot of callbacks in the match. The ending was fantastic. MJF throwing the belt.
Absolutely. MJF came, they all look really good, but MJF really, I'm going to say cemented himself as like the guy in AEW. That like AEW's on his shoulders right now.
Who?
MJF.
So after the match, he looked in the camera and he said, "I'm the best effing wrestler in the world."
Yeah.
And then going to the back, he said, I'm getting bored.
Yep.
Better find me some competition.
I don't,
Cue Wednesday night.
yeah, exactly. It makes you buy in, right? No pun intended.
It was before the show.
Yeah. I mean, the whole match, man. This is storytelling. The importance of making all four pillars look just as big.
And how about the tease with Jungle Boy possibly going heel?
I like Jungle Boy a lot.
The heel tease.
Yeah, Jack Perry.
Well, so that was all of the stuff. Even like the tease with Jungle Boy was good. I loved MJF.
JR sounded great on commentary during the night, by the way.
Mid-match trying to get Guevara to think about your upcoming baby. You need the money. Like that was
You're right.
Like such a fantastic
He's so
spot
good.
that I was like the whole match was fantastic. And the right person won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though I think we were all in agreement that we thought Jungle Boy would take the pin. But I'm glad that they did the way they did it with Darby was, I mean,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Darby taking the pin and the way it happened afterwards, but just yeah.
But also I think Darby's the one that could take the pin that it hurts the least.
True.
Jungle Boy takes it like
here
He's
we
to
go.
the bottom.
Yeah.
Predictable.
No, I definitely thought it was yeah. It's the match that had my attention the entire match all night. For sure.
Thinking what's coming next.
And Anarchy in the arena.
All right, first, what do we don't even look in? What do you rate this match? Let's think about it. Just
I rate it right along everything else around a C.
okay, fair enough. That's about right. So sad.
I expected more.
So sad, man, because look at the talent in the match.
Now, I'll say this. If they don't end the match the way they ended it, and with the Kesha in the middle of the ring,
Or if they don't start it the way they started it, that would help too. It was awesome.
yeah.
Huh? That did not vibe. The crowd was
my rating would be higher than a C. I'm not saying it was an A by any means, but it was very chaotic, but that's what
to be expected.
But that I mean like you got
Jonathan,
fighting
I
all
wish
over
you
the
saw
place.
the most of
but-
matches in the football stadiums.
but I'm giving it yeah, I know what you're talking
Stadium Stampede.
Those matches
I saw
are
one of
chaotic,
those.
but
I saw
they're
the one
way
where they-
better than this.
I saw that one where they busted in Meyer's office, Urban Meyer when he was there. And he was,
He cussed. It was awesome.
I did see that one.
I'll
but
say this. I don't remember much of this match, but I also didn't pay much attention to it because of
The intro.
because of the kids and helping Lindsay and everything.
Oh,
well, it's hard to. It was hard. It would be like to me. It was hard to remember a lot because there was so much going on, and it was like the spacing wasn't, the timing wasn't good because they were really like in the middle of showing something like a good move, and then they would cut and then like try to cut back, but then it was just there was a lot. Like the camera work was hard to follow, but there's
so you know,
go ahead, because you want to talk like the entrance. So we'll talk about that first.
well, 'cause
Like,
I'm
let's get
thinking-
into
I'm
that
sitting here
before I
thinking-
say what I do like about this.
talking about Sabu.
Cheryl said the rest of the matches made me so sleepy I couldn't stay awake for the last one.
Talking about Sabu. You know, there wasn't a lot of So Sabu was the only ECW person in that match, but there was a lot of ECW callbacks throughout the show. The Mikey Whipwreck move, the Chris the Candido, the intro to this main event was New Jack. So New Jack did in ECW. So there's a lot of ECW callbacks, but it just fell flat.
But
You liked it?
I did. I enjoyed it. I mean,
Maybe if the band was good.
Well, I was gonna say, so
the
first,
band didn't bother me.
The first,
Oh.
maybe while the band. So I don't think it was the band.
Best part was him getting super kicked.
Well, hold on,
Thank you,
sorry.
Young Bucks.
So I don't think the band playing was why I didn't like the beginning of the match, because I do think it was so much going on that I was like, bro, I can't even tell you what's going on, because every time I see something, they cut away. But after they super kicked the singer of the band and the band stopped performing,
Thank
and they were
God.
able to start like spacing out what they were doing, and you were able to see everything. The match from a entertaining standpoint, I thought was fantastic. Like the super kick with the explosion had more explosion than this exploding barbed wire match they were supposed to have. Years
That was
ago.
a shot.
Like,
That was a shot on themselves.
and it was money. Like if you go back and look at the steals from different angles, the photographers at ringside took of the super kick, it is fantastic.
The AEW did a lot of fixing the past and certain things, like that spot. There was a fireball moment with Jericho.
Yeah, that was
a throwback and of
Wizard
correcting a blown spot. So there's a lot of stuff like that.
But you had the super kick,
Uh-huh.
and then you had BCC take off the shoe and throw it in the crowd because of that, and then shove his foot in the thumbtacks, which was to me, that one went up right up there with like seeing the guy put the needle in his cheek in that video that we watched. Because like I was like, oh god, that like my insides hurt when I saw his foot. Like I was like, the back like landing on the tacks doesn't look like it feels good, but like whether it's because I've seen it so
something about
much
the foot
or something. Yeah, there was something about the foot that I was like, oh,
they
I was
were
like,
all
oh my-
in that hill
Well,
too.
the thing
bro.
is,
You could see it,
your foot or putting somebody's hand in it.
but you could see it. Like they showed his foot like laying on the ground, and his whole heel was silver from the thumbtacks. I was like, oh god. He's not gonna be able to walk for days.
Shut it off.
Keith said, I expected a lot more in the Anarchy and the Arena match. I didn't like them still playing the music during the match. It took me out of the match until they stopped the music.
See, I think,
And
Keith
I agree, Shane. I was so glad the Bucks super kicked the singer. I even said out loud, "Thank you,
I
Bucks."
think me and Keith can watch wrestling together.
And I love that Takeshita came out and cost the Elite the match.
Couldn't tell who that was on the mask.
Well,
Ah.
so hold on. So hold
Who's
on.
been calling that since the beginning?
I joked with Elliot before the match started because we were talking about something, or I think it was when Takeshita came out, and it was like 5-on-4, and I was like, what if Punk comes out to save the Elite? Like, just what
How
if?
fitting. That's what I was hoping.
And then, but I do think it leads to Ibushi or somebody big coming in, and Ibushi makes the most sense.
I think it's Ibushi and Okada. I
don't
think they're both coming.
I don't think they're both coming.
I think they're both
I
coming.
think Ibushi comes today.
I think they're both coming. It's gonna be huge.
But yeah, so BCC defeats the Elite. Utes with the pin to win the match
On Kenny.
on Kenny, by the way.
I'm not gonna say that people should come to PCW shows because I don't know. That's where Yuta kind of started with us. So, I mean, like, come on now. You never know who you're gonna see.
But that
It was
happened
awesome to see.
when he did the seatbelt. I was like, no, what? Utes with the pin? Sure
Yep.
enough.
I'm a fan.
Sure enough. Utes with the pin. But yeah, so Takeshita comes out and helps BCC get the win over
I was like, what was that kind of laugh was that?
Breaking news. AEW CEO Tony Khan will make an announcement tomorrow
about the debut.
about the debut. I'm sorry. So that
No, God!
I just like that I opened my phone up.
God, please, no! 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 No!
Oh,
I wonder what that could be.
that made me. Oh, that hurt so bad.
Oh man.
Well, we were talking earlier at work, and you said something about
Oh,
like, well, they didn't
you
announce
kinda
like
said that.
he was like, well, they didn't announce like what's the latest on this like big contract and stuff. Like they haven't said anything. And I was like, Shane, they can't announce everything at one time. Like I was like, they like company wise, it makes sense to spread them out. And I was like, but Tony likes to make huge announcements every week.
So it's gonna be tomorrow night at Wednesday Night Dynamite, live from San Diego, 8 p.m. Tony Khan will make an announcement about the debut episode of Collision. So
Q Punk news.
Maybe that's what he wants you to think.
Chat GPT, what should I say? Promo.
He should do that in a promo.
And I only thought about this, no lie, because that thought had not crossed my mind. But we always joked, and even this past Wednesday, like he's literally said like the city or something like 3 times in like
talking about Chicago.
Yeah, like it was something where I was like, oh my god, like he repeats himself so much. But then we were at work, and Duran put something in the chat thing, like AI generator, and he was like, when he read it, he was like reading it, and he was like, I mean, it basically says the same thing like 4 or 5 times. That was all he said, and I immediately was like, that's what Tony Khan uses.
What do you think the announcement is?
That Punk's gonna be on Collision. Okay.
You got two
Video game.
weeks.
But it says about Collision.
Okay. Collision will be a downloadable content arena in the. It's about the debut.
It's about this.
That gave me a headache. I laughed so loud. Whew. Maybe it's gonna be streaming on Max.
Okay.
And I don't know, something stupid. So picture what you want it to hear, and it's gonna be the polar opposite. You want Punk? CM Punk is no longer with AEW.
I'll bet it's he is Punk related.
Oh, that's almost one I want to take. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Elliot, what do you think? You think it's Punk related? FC Phil?
Oh gosh. I have no idea.
It's an announcement about the announcement.
No, I mean they're making their debut in San Diego, so I mean you would hope they would do something.
Chicago.
No, I'm talking about tomorrow night.
Oh, yes, in San Diego.
Yeah, debut in San Diego. Right now you have Chris Jericho and Saraya versus Adam Cole and Britt Baker.
It's Dynamite's debut in San Diego, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I was confused. So they got to do something big. It could be Ryback.
Oh my God.
Feed me,
bro, because I just saw something where he shared this video and it had like the beginning had the AEW logo like on his silhouette. And I was like, oh my God, please don't.
It could be Goldberg.
Oh.
This is getting better and better. Feed me more. I hope it's not Punk. Actually, I hope it's not.
Make the bet.
Just because I want
the bet that we haven't done a bet in a while.
It's almost too predictable to be Punk. That's the thing. You're not so sure.
No, I'm completely on this Punk because I told you that I thought they were going to say they didn't. You said after they announced Collision, why didn't they? The whole thing was that they were going to call it the Second Coming, and I was like, well, they're not going to do that until they start announcing Punk or tease Punk, and they didn't do that. And I said, I think that they'll do it at the pay-per-view, that they'll mention him or they'll tease something.
I thought you said Punk's not going to come. Did you say Punk's not going to show up until
he won't show up until Collision? But
in no way, shape, or form.
No, but I think they announced more maybe video. He's not going to be in person.
Okay.
But I think they allude to him or something. I think that's what that is. I thought they were going to do it at the pay-per-view, but it
it's gonna be something to do with the Owen Hart.
I mean,
tournament.
It's expected that Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita.
Oh, they're gonna.
We'll have a segment.
There's only 2 things announced, and
that's another red flag for you. You were kind of alluding to it earlier. That usually the whole card's announced for a Dynamite. Everything's announced. And there's nothing announced. So it's usually could be a good thing,
but it could be because they're trying to
could be a bad thing.
Start setting stuff up for Forbidden Door.
That's coming up quick. When's the date on that?
Oh, what if that flopped? June.
June 27th.
Jesus, that's this month practically.
3 weeks.
No,
4 weeks.
I don't think that flops. I hadn't even looked at what ticket sales are. Are tickets on sale yet?
Yeah.
I haven't even. There's so many tickets on sale for so many different shows. I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't see how they would the relationship between AEW and New Japan is in no position to flop.
Oh no, I mean, Tony said he said him and Mercedes were the only two people that knew Mercedes' status for Forbidden Door.
She's there. She has to be there.
They asked him at somewhere.
This was 2 months ago. They were at what, 12,000 tickets sold? Oh, Canada.
It isn't Canada in it.
Yeah.
So, it's nearly sold out. Okay. So that can't flop.
Almost 13,000 tickets sold.
That's exciting. And there's a lot
He
of.
said, "Please no right back."
I don't know.
I mean, but maybe that's why. I mean, you're looking at what, 3 weeks,
That's
4 weeks
crazy.
out.
That's crazy to think about. Well, in Collision's the week before.
Collision's 2 weeks from Saturday.
Yeah, but before it's a week and a half before.
So you got three
Forbidden Door.
Dynamites before Collision, including this week.
4 Dynamites before Forbidden Door. So
I guess now's the time to start something.
And
But
then, go ahead.
no, I was just saying it's good. Well, at least you know the AEW New Japan stuff's not going to flop.
And then the last little bit of wrestling news that just came across: Baron Corbin returned to NXT and attacked Carmelo Hayes and held up the NXT title.
Corbin's his build back to relevancy. Did you see Mustafa there too?
I did not.
I don't know. I mean,
It just popped up and said Corbin returned.
oh, I can't wait for the announcement tomorrow. You know, every time we turn into a show that has an announcement, we're always disappointed. Do you know the last announcement I remember Tony Khan making that I was interested in was it was a good promo. The Ring of Honor. That was fantastic because his promo was just so.
it was a dayless place. He was home. He was comfortable.
So electric.
Now we didn't talk on it. Wasn't the exact date wasn't known on last show about Fight Forever. They announced that Wednesday, didn't they?
End of June.
I mean, but they announced it. We didn't talk about it on last show, right?
I don't remember talking about it on last show.
Yeah. So, Fight Forever.
Amazing graphics.
Launches.
Very realistic.
That makes me mad.
Launches June 9th, 2 days after Forbidden Door.
The video game?
29th.
Oh yeah, I was
29th.
like,
29th. 2 days after Forbidden Door.
What makes you mad?
everybody talking about how bad the graphics are. This is nothing new. We've all known it. Everybody's known it.
Listen, when it's 2023 and your game looks like WrestleMania 2000, that's a problem.
That's what people wanted. That's what I wanted. I was excited for that arcade style. I don't like the. I think the problem with video games in general today is that people have expectations that realism and the realistic graphics have to be a thing.
But they were showing all these screen captures of like the wrestlers are showing stuff because they've been playing it backstage, and like it didn't look. I mean, it wasn't like 2K graphics, but it didn't look. I was like, it was arcade, and then I saw the picture of Eddie Kingston. And I was like,
exactly. Yeah, perfect.
Please let that be like,
hey, you guys, perfect
from a year ago.
It's awesome.
Man, just like Sloth from the Goonies.
That's perfect. That's just what I want. I'm excited. I'll be first in line. It's already pre-ordered.
Somebody said,
"Who's that?"
Eddie Kingston.
No, that looks like Leatherface
right there.
Exactly.
I'm excited. Heck yeah. I'm ready.
He looks like I don't know. He's not been on AEW for a while. The one guy that's got the like white eyeball that was ball headed.
But it looks like the Whisperers from Walking Dead.
I'm excited.
Oh,
I'm excited to play it.
Heck yeah.
But here's the thing: there's several wrestlers that look pretty good, right? But You get to Eddie Kingston's like, bro, why was they so mad at him?
They spent 0 time on his in-game model.
Eddie Kingston, nobody cares.
Just give him something else to rant about.
Exactly.
MJF don't look that good either. Kenny looks good. Of course.
Oh.
Of course he looks good.
I'm sure the EVPs look great.
I'm excited for it.
Oh, man. Oh, what else we got? Oh, did you, what movies have you watched, Shane?
Kind of been preoccupied.
I didn't know if you mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy the other day. I didn't know if you
Watched most of it.
Did you?
Yeah. I like it. Watched Wakanda Forever. Fantastic. I liked it.
So that was, you just watched it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's all while I was gone.
There was a lot of going back. I've only watched it the one time in theaters, but going back, there was a lot of things. So there's I think a taxi or something that was driving away, and it has a license plate and it says CB. It was Chadwick Boseman's, and then it had like the birthday or something on there. I was like, oh,
you gotta love it, man.
Yeah, man, the little boy at the end. Ugh. Got me good.
Yep.
Oh, the tears, baby.
Have you seen Fast yet?
That's gonna be this week. It hasn't been spoiled yet. Well, other than
Some of it's been spoiled.
Jonathan spoiled it.
Nope. I tried to
He
warn you.
spoke it into existence. My phone heard it, and it showed it in my newsfeed.
Listen, but no.
It would have shown
But that
it
doesn't ruin the
whether-
movie for me.
It would have shown it whether I said anything or not. I was trying to warn you so that you, when you saw it, or if you saw anything fast related, you would try to scroll quickly so you didn't know that it was.
How ironic! It was no more than 15 seconds after hanging up the
I
phone.
literally just saw it too.
Yeah.
You shouldn't
It
have.
wasn't like I saw it and then days later it was like, hey, stay off social media. I was scrolling too.
Turn off your phone.
Because it wasn't like spoiler alert. I mean, it was like in the title of the article. There was no missing it.
Yeah, that is very, very unlike dirt sheets too.
But that's
pissed
also
me off.
that's also a very misleading article. Very misleading.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen it.
I know.
I would say it's quite misleading, the impression it gives.
Yeah, but he's gonna be in the next one, so it's like,
I mean, you would have known that after watching the movie.
yeah, but it was a thing where like he was totally done with the series, and you know the.
Oh, it's amazing what the color green can do for people.
Or when your movie bombs.
Do.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, Dwayne.
yep.
Hey, Vin, we're always family, right?
Family. Boogeyman comes out this week.
I actually was.
That is probably ahead of Fast 10 for me.
I don't have any plans this weekend so far, and I was thinking I might just do a movie day because Spider-Man also comes out this weekend. And I was
that's
thinking
what I'm
about
watching.
Going to see Spider-Man, maybe Boogeyman, just spending the whole day at the theater.
Yeah, Boogeyman's headed fast for me. So that's why I want to.
So I haven't read any spoilers because I don't want to.
Boogeyman spoilers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Spoilers. I haven't read any, but I read one review where it was like it was a very good Stephen King because it was like based on something Stephen King that it was like is a good Stephen King adaptation. And then I read one that was like something that said it wasn't scary at all. And I was like, well, that's not what I've heard everywhere else. But yeah, I don't know.
And I think the thing I like most about Stephen King adaptations are that like they're not always like they're not really horror. They're not R-rated horror movies. They're like usually PG-13. You know, like It, Storm of the Century. They were all.
Was it PG-13?
It was actually a made-for-TV movie, believe it or not, before they released it.
What original?
Mhm.
It. Oh, okay.
In the 90s with Tim Curry.
What was?
It was a made-for-TV movie.
Oh yeah.
That's what I like most about his movies.
You did watch Pope's Exorcist while you were gone.
I did. I enjoyed that actually tremendously. I forgot I saw that.
Keith said he's avoiding everything about Fast 10 until he sees it.
Don't worry, Keith. We're not gonna spoil it because I haven't seen it yet either. They're pretty good about doing that.
I mean, I couldn't read between the lines just then.
Pope's Exorcist. Did you see it? You were watching it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Because Trevor wants to watch it, and he said I couldn't watch it without him.
it was
And
awesome.
it's not available to stream anywhere just yet.
It is on Mamba. But yeah, I liked it a lot.
Nothing I have.
I always like plugging that. But maybe Vista Video.
It's not available at my house.
Oh yeah. YouTube TV.
It's not on there.
Paramount.
Well, I take it back. I can stream it. I just got to pay $20
For what?
to buy it.
Oh, it's awful. It's not worth it. But the movie was actually very enjoyable. I think you're gonna like it. I've always Anthony Hopkins is one of my favorite actors of all time. I think he's absolutely amazing. So, what about you, Elliot? Anything good? Anything that you've seen? We talked about Super Mario. That was pretty good, right? We all talked about that.
Super Mario was good. Guardians of the Galaxy was good.
Yes.
Fast 10 was good. Jason Momoa.
I heard he stole the show.
Impeccable.
I heard he stole the show.
I would love to see.
Which blows my mind.
I would love to see him.
It won't after you watch it. I promise. Because
He seems
it's
like somebody
weird
that
because
has these one-liners.
I'd
weird
love to
because
see
you
him as the Joker.
You said something, I think, before the movie came out about you had heard that like he
Joker
did really good in or that he was like, like something about like Ledger or whatever. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I like Momoa, but
I think he's
all of
talented.
his like, I think he's talented, but all of his roles, like, I don't know what the right word. It's not believable. It's just there's something about it where I'm like, it's
they're
too
all been
over the
pretty much the
top
same.
or something. Where it's just like even Aquaman, like he looks the part as Aquaman, but like it's just I'm not completely sold. So like going into the movie, I had like one expectation of what I thought, and it was by far.
He just seems like somebody that has like these, like The Rock does these witty one-liners, like these responses.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything else but it like in your picture in your head what you think he's gonna be, and it's not that. No matter what we say, it's not how you think.
Should he have been Eric Draven?
The Crow?
I think so too. I was very
that he had to look for.
I was
like,
very disappointed when I read that didn't happen. That was the role I was looking most forward to. I think he would have killed it.
Could it still?
I don't know.
Is it one of those things where they look at this
First off,
him in Fast 10 and then say, okay.
the original Crow, Brandon Lee,
Mhm.
is probably one of the best cult classic movies of all time. The soundtrack, Brandon Lee's acting. I think the what's it called? The supporting cast for the whole movie was awesome, and just the way it was filmed, and how it tragically cost Brandon his life. I just think the whole movie was amazing, and you've had sequels and kind of re-adaptations of it, and they've never ever come even close. Edward Furlong played the Crow. Remember that? And then Vincent Perez. It was awful. But I don't know. I think Jason Momoa was the one guy that could.
I'm ready for Blade to come back again.
Didn't they stop that for
delayed.
the strike?
Yeah, it's delayed. However, did you see the news about the Deadpool movie? Came out yesterday or today or yesterday?
No.
So, I mean, it's not confirmed, but the rumor is right now that Halle Berry, James Marsden, and what's the girl that played Jean?
For the four.
You
talking about Fantastic Four?
No. So Halle Berry played Storm.
Yep.
James Marsden played Cyclops, and the girl that played Jean in the original ones are
yeah.
all supposed to be coming back for Deadpool 3.
Dig it.
I was thinking, I saw some.
The Fantastic Four
Yeah.
cast has supposedly been nailed down. So you got Adam Driver playing Mr. Fantastic, Margot Robbie playing Sue Storm, some other guy playing Johnny Storm. I can't remember his name. And then I can't remember the guy that played Johnny Storm in the Thing. I don't know. I can't remember their names or what they had been in.
Keith says Super Mario was great. He also said he could read between the lines, but doesn't think that spoiled anything about the movie. And can't believe next Saturday
It doesn't really spoil.
is the next PCW show. He's already excited.
Yeah. Talk a little PCW. So we got Wrestleverse.
PCW across the Wrestleverse.
Mm-hmm. Cross the Wrestleverse, and we got what we got so far?
Only two things.
Only two
announced.
matches.
Only 2 matches announced, and we announced those at the show. There haven't been anything keeping everything under wraps.
Yep. So we know Drew Adler will get his rematch against PCW heavyweight champion JD Drake.
Boy, isn't it nice saying that again?
Yeah.
Sorry, Drew. True.
And we also know that Erica Demia will get her shot at the PCW Soda City champion, Rudy J.
Over under that Solar gets super kicked. This show.
No, not super kick. He gets a big boot from Big Game.
Okay.
The over under that
If Big Game's there.
I want to go back and see the clip. It might be more of a super kick than it was a big boot.
Oh, it looked bad. Like it looked bad to be Solar. Huzzah! That's all it took.
I don't even know if he finished getting it out. It
No.
was like mid, like
Billy says, Christ Jesus.
It was fantastic. Didn't you say he said that in the ring,
Oh, yeah.
Solar?
Oh, yeah, he definitely did.
I would have laughed.
you don't pop in the ring.
No, definitely not to a stupid hat.
Oh, look.
What was
I
that?
know because I tried so hard to make Shane laugh at work today.
Oh, I didn't laugh though. I held it together.
He did hold it together, but you could tell.
Did he do the?
But it was to the. I don't know because I couldn't look at him because I was trying not to laugh when I asked. So
Oh,
this customer
bro.
come in.
This
and
is
customer come in. I can't even tell you the guy's first name now, but he gave me his name and it was something Helms, and I was like,
Shane?
no, look, I was putting it in,
Straight
and I was
faced.
like, dead straight face. Because Shane was right beside me, like right over my shoulder, and the guys across. So I was like, what's that first name? I was like, last name, and he said Helms. And I was like, complete straight face. I was like, any relation to Shane Helms? And like I said it and just kept going because I was like, I can't even move because if I like even glance at Shane, I'm gonna lose it. And the guy's like, oh no, and I was like, oh okay, dang. And then I just kept going. But then when the guy left, I said something to Shane. He was like, yeah, he was like,
stand back for me. Would you have lost if he would have said that? Hey, can you stand back?
that. I would have been on the floor. I would have. Sorry, I gotta go. Oh, I just could not believe. I could not believe he said that. Well, and like I was over his shoulder, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I was staring at him, like waiting for him to look back at me, but he would not look back.
I couldn't because I knew I would lose it because it was so hard for me to keep a straight face asking because I knew I could feel you looking at me.
Oh, I was
like,
staring at you.
I was like, I got to do it straight face. I was like, any relation to Shane Helms?
Oh, I wish you would have said. I wish you'd be like. I wish you'd have been typing and be like, oh, what's up with that?
But God, the things we try to do. But then I was like, oh man, you should ask. You know the guy. He's friends with Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous. He's part of that boy band 3 Count. You know. Oh my God.
But I couldn't. As soon as I got it out, I was like,
Bro, he was biting his lips.
Because I just knew he wasn't expecting me to ask him that.
No.
I was like, yeah, just hang on.
No,
I'm ready.
That's not what he said. Oh my God.
That's funny.
I was like, only Winburn.
What? I was glancing at your phone and thought that was so large. On the front of your phone.
Oh, shut up, Elliot.
Oh,
That is not a picture of Chris Baldwin on my phone.
okay.
So-
but show it to Jonathan.
Oh, I know.
I show him every chance I get.
It's weird because like I've never thought that, but his phone wasn't even lit up when I looked at it. But you said it, and I already knew what was on his background, and I was like, "Nah, man, I can see that."
Christ Jesus.
Oh, that's funny. Keith says, "Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through." I would have laughed out loud if I was there.
And it was funny. It was
I would
it
have
was
died
raining,
even
pouring
laughter,
today.
like even more if he would have said it. Stand back.
That's the Vince song. Stand back. You know the song he was singing. No, but like when it was funny, it was raining too today. Man, it's like a hurricane outside.
Be a hurricane coming through.
Yo, we should make that a part of our everyday routine, Jonathan.
Dropping
Try to find
lines.
a way to drop a wrestling nugget in there. See if anybody catches it.
I'm down.
Liz would. She loves wrestling.
Well, so the one girl though, her name's Shabray. I call her Shabray Wyatt.
Nice.
I call her abrasive.
Hey, little bird.
She'll beat the Shabrakes off you.
Oh, she's so funny. Oh, God bless America.
I did thought I was gonna get shamed with the.
If you look back, you probably would have. If you saw me looking at you, you probably be like.
But I could feel the like stare and then like
dude,
you said,
I
could feel the stare and then Shane going.
No, never laughed.
Well, not laugh, but just like the.
Didn't even want to. I was very disappointed.
Yeah, you did.
I was very disappointed. Oh, solar.
Your flashlight's on.
Oh,
You're blinding the viewers.
sorry, guys and gals. But anyway,
Oh, mercy.
I was trying to.
What else?
Did you not like your coffee today?
What?
Wow.
You didn't do the ad read.
Oh, well, I just still got time to
No,
to do it.
and no where community meets in Dusty Bend.
I still got time to do it. I just ain't done it yet. Make sure there's nothing else before I read it off.
Oh, did you see Little Mermaid?
No,
You gonna see it
probably not.
with your daughter?
No.
She might want to.
Okay.
She's just like a princess all
She's
the
got a
time.
mom.
Oh,
That's,
I heard it was very good.
Did you happen to catch the video that I was showing Paisley downstairs?
I don't want to be
I
where
did
the
not.
people are.
Okay. I was showing Paisley the Olaf video. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. Yeah, that's funny.
It's Olaf basically doing the whole plot of Little Mermaid in like 2 minutes, but it's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It's great. I did hear Melissa McCarthy was amazing as Ursula.
Yeah, I heard the whole movie was good.
I've never been a fan of The Little Mermaid to begin with, so.
Who is?
I like the Little Mermaid.
Oh, there you go.
I want to be where the people are.
I want to see a remake of Wizard of Oz. 7 out of 10 IMDb.
What?
Well,
Little
did
Mermaid.
you see that they changed their rating scale?
I don't like this. You're about to be sarcastic.
No, I'm not. I'm being dead serious. They did change it. So there was a lot of like
He's twitching.
no, like look it up. So they had so many the reviews were not. It was not a 7 out of 10. They had so many people giving it a 1-star review because of the cast, who they cast for Little Mermaid. That IMDb changed their thing to like weigh certain ratings differently, and then it adjusted to a 7.
Wow. There it is.
Oh, man. I can't even think about it. I did have good coffee today, though.
Keeps you woke.
Yep. Oh, woke. Guys, this podcast is brought to you by Day Soul Coffee Lab out of Birmingham, Alabama. Y'all know I consider myself a coffee connoisseur. I absolutely love coffee. And I found what I believe to be the absolute best coffee out there. With Day Soul Coffee Lab, you can be sure to get coffee that's super smooth and always fresh roasted. Some of the best, if not the best coffee you'll ever drink. Just swing over to their website, daysoulcoffeelab.co, and use promo code LOWDOWN to get 10% off your order. They even have a subscription option where they'll deliver coffee directly to you every month. Guys, it's a no-brainer. You gonna drink coffee? Might as well make it great coffee.
You see who made it in the comments?
That's why I started laughing.
God.
It's
It's the end of the show.
Billy said, good time passing out flyers this weekend. I agree. And we actually met where Community and Nutrition meet, located in Camden, South Carolina, in the heart of Dusty Bend. Head on over to Revolution Nutrition and get healthy protein shakes, iced coffees, energizing herbal teas, all refreshers, kid-friendly drinks, and positive vibes. Remember, when you head over there, mention the Lowdown and get 10% off your order. Yep, met Billy and Cheryl out there and got Got some flyers distributed for
Did you get a tea?
for the show. I did.
Let me guess. Grape.
It had grape in it. Jeremy. Hey man, glad you've been hanging out with us tonight.
Jeremy comes in. Three laughing faces. Jeremy leaves the chat.
Keith says, I'm a fan of The Little Mermaid. I want to see the new movie. And now thinking about the movie, I have part of your world stuck in my head.
I have got to get whatever that drink was I had in New York.
It's up to you.
With the green bottom. It was fantastic.
It looked good.
It was.
But I'm sure the green was green apple, which I don't really care for.
Pickle.
Maybe. I think it was actually. I actually think.
That shit in my mind was not good.
I actually think it was just the lime liftoff.
I don't think lime liftoff's green.
Is it? I don't know. I'm not betting on that. On that note.
Oh, well. It's that time, guys. Y'all, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. Be sure to head on over to pcw.ticketspice.com/Russellverse. Get your tickets for the show next Saturday. All right. As always, follow us on social media at Lowdown Popcast. We appreciate you tuning in as always. And I'll be sure to catch us again right here next week for the PCW pre-show push.
Are we doing the show next week?
I've got to have a procedure next Tuesday.
Oh God, that means you
and everything. So there's a chance. We'll keep you posted on social media and everything.
Are you gonna be on like painkillers and stuff?
I don't know.
You should definitely do the show.
I don't know if I'll be up like awake. So
it's not that bad.
You ever had one?
Yes. Yes.
No, I don't know. I don't know that I'll be ready. But anywho, as always, guys, I'm Elliot.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jonathan.
This has been a Lowdown Popcast. And as always, let's keep it popping.